Hi everyone, welcome to Geeky Rollers, where a bunch of us absolutely geeky people get together to play some Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm sure, as you probably noticed, we've not been on for pretty close to 3 months now. In a sense, mostly not our own fault. Obviously, me and Hannah have had to move again. If you do follow us on TikTok, you'll have seen that I've been redoing this little tiny room I'm in. For the purposes of doing the Dungeons and Dragons. And yes, we were meant to have a session on Monday. Some people did see some part of a live session started going up, but we started having some audio problems. A lot of the audio from the computer I use wasn't coming through. I couldn't figure out why at the time. So it just had to be a case of like, all right, well, we're just not going to do tonight's session. That was one thing. The other side of it was a lot of my players had to dip out, and I was literally just left with 2 players for that evening. And since Monday night, it's been kind of creeping in my head about this whole, not necessarily endeavor, but thing that we've been doing for YouTube. And in the back of my head of what's going on, and after having have a chat with all my players and everything, and it's been universally agreed that we're going to stop live streaming our game, and we're not going back to pre-recording it and putting them online either. We're going to keep it for the most part as a home game again. Because it does mean I'm not going to record certain bits and possibly put them online for our TikTok or things like that. Just that we're just not going to be doing that YouTube side of it all. There are several reasons to this. It's not just like, oh, well, they obviously weren't successful, so they're stopping. It's like, that's kind of a reason, but it's not at the same time. For the longest time, we've said that we're not doing this to be successful. We're not doing this for these reasons, to make money or anything. We're doing this because we wanted to share our game and our story with the world. And at the same time, try and promote a bit of mental health awareness. And it's come very much down to the conclusion that all of our own mental health and things like that have kind of taken a bit more of a front seat on certain things, and publicly putting ourselves out there like that isn't what most of us kind of want to do anymore. At least not in that sense. There are, like I said, there are other sides. Yes, when I first started this about 4 years ago, my head was like, cool, let's come try and be the next Critical Role. We're gonna try and do that. And you're all probably laughing at that right now, and rightly so, because it's a very dumb thing to think that we're going to be the next Critical Role. We were a very small group of people, not voice actors, XYZ, didn't have the money and budget behind us to do this whole thing. But yeah, like I said, as soon as that idea was like, okay, well, we're never going to be this. That's not something we're ever going to get to and never achieve, so we're just going to try and do our own thing, and even that has kind of been quite hard. You've probably noticed, especially last year, that a lot of sessions had to be canceled because of real world issues. We had things going on in the real world and our own personal lives that we had more of a commitment to than having to do a bi-weekly D&D game. So hopefully now that we're taking it off this, we can kind of go back to doing regular sessions every other week. And the other side is, there's a massive sense of hassle trying to do this. We are struggling to keep up with an online social presence on Facebook and Instagram because, again, we have lives. I'm doing what I can with TikTok, but even then, it's a lot longer between those videos that I'm trying to do as well because, again, I have a life and I have other things I have to do and other commitments. We're still keeping the channel up. The videos we got up at the minute aren't going to go anywhere. I'm going to be trying to do what I can to revive A Day in the Tavern. And not just once every so often when some big news comes out. Now it's going to be probably another bi-weekly show in which I will talk about our last D&D session and probably have introduce some recorded clips of what happened there as well. But it's just a bit more of something that smaller that I can have a bit more control over, a bit more editing process in as well. And something where I feel like I can commit more to that because I can set time aside for that just me than trying to get another 4, 5, 6 people to all commit to that time every other week for this. because the biggest enemy of any D&D party is scheduling conflict. There are other sides to this. It's having to make a decision. Mine and Neil's band Draugr is starting to get a lot of traction. We're starting to get a lot of people looking at us and things like that. And we're starting to kind of go places. And it's now a decision of, do I keep trying to split myself between the two primarily, or do I drop focus on one and put more focus on the other? Like I said, this doesn't mean we're stop playing our D&D game. We're not. We're all enjoying it too much. We're all having way too much fun. I'm having too much fun writing this. And this is just a chance for me to kind of get back and re-put in a lot of the effort I had early on in the game before we went and started putting this on YouTube. But yeah, it's a culmination of other things. Another thing is me and Neil have a podcast we've been wanting to try and get off the ground again proper, called Unscriited BullS, where it's literally, as the title says, we just talk about whatever's on our mind at the time. And we do talk a lot about nerdy and geeky things on there as well, which is why something I want to put onto the page, or the channel rather. Like I said, this doesn't mean we're stopping. I'm trying to get some more players interested in and things like that, which are going to fill up some of the empty seats that have been emptied from people who have come in and gone because of real life issues. And again, I have no issues with them. People have had to walk away for that reason. They're still my friends. Just either this game wasn't what they were expecting it, or they've had real life issues and had to move away in X, Y, and Z. Now, like I said, I want to bring Day in the Tavern back, which is going to be talking about the D&D sessions and things like that, as well as other kind of D&D or tabletop related stuff that I think about at the time. But yeah, this is kind of what this announcement's about. It's that we're not going to be live streaming or putting our games on YouTube anymore. Yes, I know we're doing this in the middle of a campaign, in the middle of a story arc, and things like that, and it's going to be annoying for those people who have actually been watching us. The very few of you who have, hi. But like I said, Day in the Tavern will come, and we'll talk about what the session was, and I'll do what I can to get some little clips of funny or big moments going through. But this is just a bit more so that we as players and things like that in the tabletop game can be a bit more focused on the game itself. I often find myself, when we're live streaming, focusing more on the camera and the audience than I am of my players and the game. It may not look like it, but in my head I am. And if I'm not doing that, I can focus more on the game and get more immersive into it. So, that's it. Sorry to disappoint the few people who've been regularly watching us, and looking forward to when we're coming back. I do apologize. It's in a sense kind of out of our control, but at the same time something we realize that's a big thing for us to do when we don't have the time or money behind to really give it what it needs to be. Anyone out there who wants to do this, by all means, please go for it. I'll support you as much as I can. And I will just warn you, unless you've got the money supporting and time behind you to actually be able to do this, it's a lot. And I mean a proper lot. But if you feel like you can do it, then do it. We just need to stop, and we need to kind of get back to what this game was about for us. A game where a bunch of us friends get together and play a high fantasy game. So, until my next video I do, which don't know yet when that will be, I'll see you guys soon. Remember, keep well. Remember, look after yourself, and if you need help, please don't be afraid to ask. You're not alone in this world, and you don't need to be. Even a friend is a friend. I'm seeing you.